The oldest living culture on Earth has a word for what happens when you fall asleep. It is the same word they use for the dimension that underlies all of reality. Tonight, you are going to find out why. Settle yourself wherever you are. Let your body release whatever it's been bracing against all day, the small accumulated tensions of being upright and moving and responsible and present. Your shoulders, let them fall. Your jaw, let it unclench, the teeth apart, the tongue loose in the mouth. Your hands, open, palms soft, fingers uncurled. Your legs, heavy now, the muscles releasing their long-held readiness, the feet heavy and still. Take a breath in, slowly, as far as it goes. Down into the belly, not just the chest, the full breath, the breath that fills the lungs from the bottom up, that lifts the ribs and rounds the belly and carries the oxygen all the way in. Hold it for just a moment at the top, not until it's uncomfortable, just the pause before the release. And then let it go, all of it, the full exhale, the belly falling, the ribs settling, the last bit of air released at the bottom, with a slight softening of the whole body. And then let your body breathe on its own, no more managing. The body knows how to breathe when you stop directing it, and what it chooses is slower, slower than what you would choose for yourself, slower, deeper, the long even rhythm of a body moving toward rest. Let your breath be that. Let your body do what it knows how to do. There's nothing required of you tonight, nothing to understand, nothing to solve, nothing to arrive at. You only need to be here, in this place, with the sky above you and the earth beneath you, and let both of those things be as old as they are. They're very old. And they don't need you to do anything with them. They only need you to be present to them in the way that lying on warm earth under the night sky makes presence easy, because the senses are full, in the best way, the quiet way, the way that fills you without demanding anything back. Close your eyes. You are lying on red earth, not metaphorically. The earth beneath you is red. It's the particular deep red of ancient oxidized iron in sandstone, the red that's been this ground's color for hundreds of millions of years, long before there were eyes to see it, long before people lay down on it and looked up, the red that comes up in your palms when you press them down, the red that settles in dust on everything. It colors the sunset and the sunrise. It colors the air itself when the wind comes. It's a red you don't easily forget once you've seen it. In daylight, under the full force of the Australian sun, it's almost aggressive. A color so saturated, so specific, it reads as something more than geology, something intentional. But at night, under the stars, it softens. The red earth becomes dark red, almost black in the shadows, lighter where the starlight catches the surface. Warm either way, patient either way, the earth is warm. It's held the heat of the day deep in the stone and the soil. Now, in the long warm night, it's releasing that heat slowly, steadily, the way old things release what they hold, with patience, with no sense of urgency. You can feel it through your clothes, through the surface of your skin, a warmth that isn't your warmth. It's older and larger and more patient than your warmth. It's the warmth of a place that's been warm for a very long time, not the warmth of an oven or a fire. Those are urgent. They burn themselves out. This is the warmth of a stone that spent all day in the sun. Now it's spending the whole night, giving it back, unhurried. A slow release of stored energy. It will go on until just before dawn. Then the stone will begin to cool. The coolness will last only an hour or two. Then the sun returns and begins the storing again, the stone and the sun and the night and the warmth, the cycle running without interruption for hundreds of millions of years. You're resting in the middle of that cycle. You're borrowing some of the warmth the earth has stored. Lie still for a moment and feel it, the warmth at your back, your shoulders, your legs, the backs of your hands, the weight of your body pressing down into the earth pressing back up with exactly the same force, holding you exactly as you are, not letting you fall anywhere. You lie still and feel the earth beneath you and the sky above you. Between those two things, you're the smallest and most temporary of elements. A brief, warm, breathing interruption. It's in the conversation between earth and sky, a conversation that's been going on for a very long time. The air is still, the night is warm, the desert has exhaled its last breath of the day. It's resting, and so can you. When you open your eyes, and you do not have to, you can stay here in the red dark. When you open your eyes, the sky is immense. Not the sky of cities or towns or suburbs, not where the stars are a rumor, not where the Milky Way is a thing you hear about but cannot see, not where the sky is a ceiling lit from below by the accumulated glow of a million lamps. This sky is different. This sky is what the sky actually is. The stars are here, all of them. Not a selection, not the brightest dozen, but all of them. Every star visible to the unaided human eye, and more than you can count or name or take in. They spread across the whole dome of the sky, from horizon to horizon. The density makes counting seem absurd. And the Milky Way. You have seen photographs of it. You have probably seen it in person at some point. A pale smear above a camping ground, a suggestion of extra brightness in one part of the dark sky. But from here, in the desert, in the full dark of an Australian night, far from any city, the Milky Way is not a smear or a suggestion. It is a river. It crosses the sky from one horizon to the other, a broad band of light, complex and layered, brighter here, thicker there, threading through dark channels and swelling into bright pools of accumulated starlight. It arches above you. You can see the depth of it, the structural depth, the way it is not flat but dimensional, a thing of genuine three-dimensional extent that you're looking through rather than at. It is the galaxy you live in. You're looking at the galaxy you live in, from inside it, from the edge of one of its arms, lying on your back on red earth in the dark. Take a moment with that. In the Western tradition of looking at the night sky, the meaningful shapes are the bright ones, the constellations, the patterns of stars connected by imaginary lines into figures and animals and objects. Orion, the Pleiades, the Scorpion, shapes made of light connecting bright points. But there is another way to read the sky. In the sky above you, the dark spaces between the stars aren't empty. They are shapes. The shapes in the dark spaces, the outlines drawn by the absence of light, these are the shapes that the Aboriginal Australians have been reading for tens of thousands of years. Not the stars, but the dark, not the light, but the depth. Look up, find the brightest section of the Milky Way, the dense core, high and to the right, and now look at the dark patches within it, the places where the clouds of interstellar dust block the light, creating the shape of dark within bright. There is an emu here. Its head is the dark Coalsack Nebula near the Southern Cross, a dark oval, clearly visible against the surrounding brightness, and its neck stretches away from the cross into the river of the Milky Way. Its body broadens into the central bands of the galaxy. Its legs extend in long dark streamers toward the south and west. A running emu, caught mid-stride, frozen in the sky in the dark spaces between the stars. This is not a minor curiosity. The emu in the sky is a practical astronomical tool. Its position in the sky tells the observer what is happening on the ground. When the emu appears to be sitting, when its body is low and horizontal near the horizon, it is the season for emu eggs. When the emu is upright, the eggs are gone. The sky is a calendar, and the calendar is written in the dark as much as in the light. You trace the shape of the emu above you, the dark neck, the fuller body, and you feel something shift in the way you're looking at the sky. You're not looking at points of light, you're reading a surface, you're reading a text. And the text is not metaphorical. This isn't a tradition of saying the sky is like a book. It's a tradition of reading the sky as an actual source, of practical information about the world below. The position of the emu tells you when to look for emu eggs. The appearance of certain stars tells you when particular plants will be ready, when particular fish will be running in particular rivers, when particular animals will be at particular waterholes. The sky is not a symbol of the land. The sky is a map of the land. The same creative force that made the land made the sky, and the two are in constant correspondence. The celestial country above reflecting the terrestrial country below, and the people who've read both for 65,000 years know how to move between them. You look at the emu and you try to see what they saw, not the western sky of named constellations made of light, but this sky, the sky of shapes in the dark, the sky of the absence of stars as well as the presence of stars, the sky that's as much made of shadow as of light, a different sky. The same sky, seen differently, the same light, attended to differently. Once you see the emu, you cannot unsee it. That's true of all constellations, western or otherwise. Once the eye has learned the shape, it's there every time you look, inseparable from the raw sensory data of the stars. The sky that looked like scattered points of light becomes the sky with the emu in it, and the emu is there now, running across the Milky Way, its dark body moving through a sea of light. You trace the shape of the emu above you, the dark neck, the fuller body, and you feel something shift in the way you're looking at the sky. You're not looking at points of light, you're reading a surface, you're reading a text. The Southern Cross is in the south, low but clear, 4 bright stars in a compact cross shape. The longest arm points toward the south celestial pole. That's the invisible point around which the whole southern sky turns. The cross is an ancient navigational tool. It's a directional anchor. It has oriented people in the southern hemisphere for thousands of years. Near the cross, between it and Centaurus, there's a dark patch, a dark oval, clearly visible to the naked eye. The dust of the Milky Way blocks the stars behind it completely. The sky appears simply black, the coal sack. In some traditions, this dark patch near the cross is read as a possum. The possum sits in the fork of a tree. The cross itself is the tree. The coal sack is the possum, tucked into the branches, still and dark, resting. You look at it for a moment. The possum in the tree made of stars, the possum made of dark, and then you let your gaze soften and widen. The cross and the coal sack and the emu dissolve back into the sky. You're lying on red earth looking up. 10,000 years of navigation and story and knowledge are written there, light and dark against the sky. None of it requires you to do anything except be here and breathe. The earth beneath you is very old, not just old like all ground is old in a way that's different. This specific red sandstone, this spinifex and dust, the Pilbara, the Kimberley, the Central Desert, ancient cratons of the Australian continent, geological cores that haven't been turned over. They haven't been remade by plate tectonics, not for billions of years. The oldest exposed rock on Earth's surface is here, or near here. 2, 3, 4 billion years of continuous surface. Geology has a concept called the craton. It's the ancient stable core of a continent, the part that hasn't been significantly deformed, not since the Earth's early formation. The Australian craton is one of the oldest. It's been a dry, stable, ancient landmass for so long. The word ancient begins to seem insufficient. Other continents were being folded and uplifted. They were subducted and remade. The Australian heartland was simply here, the same red stone under the same changing sky for billions of years. The red comes from the iron. Iron in the rock oxidizing, rusting slowly across geological time, turning the whole landscape the color of old blood, old brick, sunset. the earth itself communicating something, its age, its chemistry, its extraordinary patience. You're lying on some of the oldest exposed rock on the planet's surface. And on this ancient ground, people have been living for at least 65,000 years, perhaps longer. 65,000 years. The number doesn't fit in the mind easily. It doesn't fit at all, really. 65,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had only recently left Africa. Europe was occupied by Neanderthals. The last woolly mammoths were flourishing. No domesticated animal existed anywhere. The oldest known cave paintings were still 5,000 years in the future, and on this ground, people were already here, already reading the sky, already knowing the country, already living inside a relationship with this land and this sky. It's continued unbroken to the present day. This isn't simply the oldest archaeological site, it's the oldest continuous culture, not a ruin, not a record of something that ended. A living tradition that's been alive here since before any other human civilization left a mark anywhere on Earth. 65,000 years of knowing this country, naming it, reading it, living inside it, passing the knowledge forward across more than 2,000 generations. 2,000 generations of people who lay on this same Earth, who looked at this same sky. You're lying on 65,000 years of continuous human presence. You feel it dimly, the way you feel the warmth of the earth, not with precision, not as information, but as a quality of the place, a weight in the air, a density, the sense of a place that's been known and named and lived in and loved for so long. The knowing has become part of the place itself, like the warmth in the stone, something stored, something that doesn't leave. The dry creek bed is near you. You can see the line of ghost gums in the starlight. White-barked eucalyptus trees grow where the water table is reachable. Their roots go deep into the ground. They find what is not visible on the surface. Their trunks are white and smooth, almost luminous in the dark. The bark sheds in long papery strips. It reveals the pale underlayer, the smooth new bark beneath the old. They stand along the invisible course of the creek, like guardians of the water that isn't there. Ghost gums, the name is right. They're ghostly at night, pale, still. Their white trunks float in the dark above the red earth, not menacing, simply present in the way that old trees are present, completely and without performance. They have been here, they are here, they make no claim about what that means. Their smell reaches you even here, several meters away. Eucalyptus oil, sharp and clean when it's strong, something softer and more complex when it's faint. The smell of the leaves warming in the day, releasing their oils, the oils drifting in the still air. By night they're at a distance. The smell becomes something between perceiving and imagining. Your brain completes the scent from the hint of it, the way your brain completes a familiar piece of music from the first few notes. The creek is dry now. It's been dry for months, for years, but it is not empty. In many Aboriginal traditions, a waterway is not just a channel for rain. It is a track, the path along which an ancestral being moved, long ago and not long ago, in the time that is always present. The Rainbow Serpent moves through waterways. It creates them, it dwells in them, it's expressed in them. The curve of a river, the sudden bend of a creek, the deep pool in otherwise shallow water, these are signs of the serpent's passage, not metaphorical signs, not symbols pointing at something else. The curve of the river is the serpent. The serpent and the river are not two different things in one place, they're the same thing seen from different angles. The Rainbow Serpent is one of the most widely recognized ancestral beings across Aboriginal Australia. Its specific form and name vary across hundreds of traditions, but the broad understanding reaches across vast amounts of this continent. The Great Serpent moves through water. It creates waterways. It dwells in deep waterholes. It's present whenever there is water in the landscape. It is one of the most widespread and ancient religious concepts in the world. This dry creek bed was made by something moving through here. Something enormous and creative moved through this country. It carved this channel in the red earth, then moved on to the next waterhole, to the deeper country. But the serpent is not absent from a dry waterway. The waterway is the serpent's mark, the shape of the creek in the landscape. The curve of it, the width of it, the depth of the channel, all of these are the signature of the serpent's passage, permanent, continuing, present. The creek is dry, but the presence is not dry. You lie near the ghost gums, and you breathe. The air smells of dust and eucalyptus oil. The faint electric promise of rain is somewhere in the distant north. It might arrive here in weeks. It might not arrive for months. The desert doesn't promise rain. It simply holds the possibility of it, the way the dry creek holds the possibility of water, the way the serpent is always present in the waterway, even when the waterway has no water. The night sounds of the desert. They are specific, and they are few. A nightjar somewhere to the left, a churring, mechanical sound, low and rhythmic, coming and going as the bird calls and pauses and calls again. Not birdsong exactly, more like the sound of something ancient and simple repeating itself, the way crickets repeat, the way the heartbeat repeats. The nightjar hunts moths and beetles in the dark. Its plumage makes it almost invisible against the earth when it rests. It's been in Australia long enough to be woven into the stories of the country. You've probably heard nightjars before without knowing what they were. That churring mechanical sound coming from a dark hillside or a dry creek bed at night. A sound too regular and too mechanical seeming to identify as a living thing. But it is a living thing. It's a bird, sitting in the dark somewhere nearby, making the sound that nightjars make, the same sound that nightjars in Australia have been making for a very long time. The crickets themselves, different from the crickets of wetter climates, higher, thinner. The sound of insects adapted to dry heat. They're everywhere in the spinifex, the clumped desert grass that covers the ground between the ghost gums and the creek edge. Tough, sharp-edged grass that copes with extreme heat and long drought by doing almost nothing, by waiting. The spinifex isn't green the way wetter grass is green. It's olive, dusty, tough. At night it's simply dark, a texture of low dark clumps across the red earth. Between them the crickets sing. Their sound is the texture of the silence, rather than an interruption of it. You stop hearing the crickets after a while, not because they stop, but because they become the baseline. The way the hum of a plane engine becomes the baseline. You only notice it when it changes. The crickets simply are, the way the warmth of the earth simply is. Your body stops registering them as stimulus. It begins to incorporate them as environment. Somewhere, far off and faint, a frog, a single frog, impossible distance, but frogs mean water. They mean that somewhere a pool is still standing, somewhere a wet season memory is persisting in the rock. The frog knows it. It's announcing it to the night. Frogs in the desert appear to materialize out of nowhere when the rains come. They've been underground, in a state of suspended animation, waiting in their clay-sealed chambers for months or years. When the rain penetrates deep enough, they emerge within hours. They begin calling. This frog has found its water. It's emerged from its long wait. It's celebrating. There's something in that, the long patience of the frog underground, waiting in the dark for the water, and then the water, and then the calling. And then silence. The nightjar pauses. The crickets drop almost to nothing. For a moment, the desert is quiet in a way that no built environment is ever quiet, a quiet that has nothing behind it, no hum of electricity, no distant traffic, no plane, no refrigerator, no generator. A silence with nothing underneath it but more silence, going down into the earth and out into the sky without interruption. In that silence, your own heartbeat. Slow, steady, without any effort on its part or yours, doing the thing it's been doing since before you were born, the thing it will do until the very end, the one process that underlies everything else, the pump, the rhythm, the kept time of your living. In that silence, your own breath. Both of them sounding very clear, very present, very temporary against the enormous stillness of the desert night. And both of them perfectly at home here. Your heart isn't new, your breath isn't foreign, you're an animal, lying on the earth in the dark. The earth received animals lying on it long before it received people. It receives you now with the same completeness, the same steadiness, the same deep lack of judgment. You belong here because everything belongs here. Everything that breathes belongs on the earth. That is what the earth is for. The ghost gums are very still. There is no wind tonight. Without wind, the trees are completely motionless. Their leaves hang without movement. Each narrow leaf is perfectly still. They throw small, sharp shadows in the starlight. The Milky Way is directly overhead. It's bright enough to cast a shadow. White bark and still leaves, the shadow of the leaves on white bark, all of it motionless, all of it listening. The ghost gum's whiteness is not a simple thing. In direct sunlight, the bark is complex white, cream and gray and faint green, powdery in some places, smooth as painted metal in others. The surface is almost reflective at certain angles. It holds the light without absorbing it. At night, under stars, the white simplifies. It becomes the lightest thing in the landscape. It catches whatever light there is. It gives the light back. The trunks float in the dark. They float above the red earth, pale columns, each one a different shape. One splits near the base into two trunks. They lean slightly away from each other. One has a great lateral branch. It extends for several meters, then it turns up toward the sky. One is perfectly straight and smooth, ground to crown. The trees are old, not ancient by the standards of the earth beneath them, not even old by the standards of longer-lived trees. Those grow in wetter parts of the continent, but old enough that their roots have gone deep, deep into the water table. Old enough that their bark has been shed many times, regrown many times. Old enough that they've been standing here, through many dry seasons and wet seasons, through decades of starlight exactly like tonight's. Each ring of growth is a record, narrow in the dry years, broader in the wet, a record of the climate, of the years of rain, of the years of drought, a tree's slow autobiography, written in wood. If you could read these trees, you could read the history of the weather, over the lifespan of the tree. But the trees are not archives. They are trees. They do not keep records for others. They simply grow when they can. They wait when they must. Everything here has been here a long time. The grass has been here a long time. The sandstone beneath the soil has been here hundreds of millions of years. The creek bed has been here since the Rainbow Serpent moved through it, since before memory, since before the beginning. Bamina, since the dreaming that is not a time, it's a condition of the world. You rest your hand on the red earth at your side, palm down, fingers spread. The earth is smooth here, packed by rain and time, fine-grained. It holds the warmth of the day, a thin layer just at the surface. Your hand on the earth's warmth in your hand, the warmth moving from the stone into your palm, the same way it moves into everything. everything that touches this ground, impartially, automatically, the earth giving its heat, giving heat to whatever is in contact with it. 65,000 years of hands on this earth, not your hands, hands that are not yours, hands that belong to people. Their names are not recorded anywhere. They did not write names down. Their faces are not preserved in any image. They did not make images that way, but hands that were hands, that pressed against this same ground, that felt this same warmth, that lay on this same earth in the dark, that looked up at this same sky. You are not alone here, even if you are alone. You breathe. The earth breathes the heat back to the sky, and the sky receives it, as it has always received it, without preference, without distinction, the whole enormous dark of the sky, receiving the warmth of the red earth, the warmth of all the bodies that have ever lain on it, holding none of it, letting all of it go. A dreaming, not a time, not a myth, not a past event. The dreaming, Chukarapa, Chukarapa, Aucharinga. The names shift across hundreds of language groups, like the same river seen from different banks. It is not what happened before, it is what is always happening, beneath the surface of what you can see. Western thought organizes time as a line, the past behind, the present here, the future ahead. Ancestral stories fit awkwardly into this model. They're placed in the past, in the beginning, long ago, once upon a time. The story is past, the teller is present. There's a distance between them. The dreaming is different. The dreaming is not past. The ancestral beings who shaped this country didn't act in some mythological time that ended. They acted in the dreaming. The dreaming has not ended. It's not ended. It's ongoing, present, happening now, beneath and behind and through the visible world. The Rainbow Serpent is not an ancestor who made the waterways, then stopped. The Rainbow Serpent is the waterway, continuous, still moving, still present in the deep waterholes, still the creative force in the water. The ancestral beings are not gone. They are the country. This is not metaphor. It is ontology, a different understanding of what the world is made of, how it is structured. For tens of thousands of years, people lived on this continent. The world they lived in was not a physical landscape with stories attached. It was a dreaming in which the physical landscape and the stories and the ancestral beings are all the same thing, seen from different angles. Think of it this way. The visible world, the ordinary world of red earth and ghost gums and the nightjar's churring and the stars above, this world is the surface, real and present and specific, but beneath it, behind it, woven through it in a way that cannot be separated, is the dreaming. The ancestral beings who shaped this landscape are not absent. They became the landscape. The Rainbow Serpent that moved through and carved the waterway is not a story about a past event. The Rainbow Serpent is the waterway. The ancestral emu that walked across this plain is not the origin of the emu in the sky. They are the same thing, continuing, the sky and the ground and the story, all one thing, all present, all the dreaming. The country does not contain the dreaming. The country is the dreaming, seen in physical form. You cannot visit the dreaming. You can only recognize that you're already in it. As you lie on this earth, in this night, with this sky above you, you're not outside the dreaming, looking in. You're inside the country that is the dreaming made visible. The red earth is the dreaming. The waterway is the dreaming. The stars, including the dark shapes between them, are the dreaming. It's not hidden. It's exactly what is here, seen the right way. And at the threshold between waking and sleep, the right way becomes easier. the ordinary way of looking that separates, that categorizes, that holds things at a certain distance to examine them. That way of looking is loosening in you right now. As it loosens, what remains is just here, the earth, the sky, the warmth, the dark, everything exactly as it is, not requiring you to name it or understand it or place it in a sequence, just here, all of it at once. The sky has shifted since you lay down. Not dramatically. An hour of Earth's rotation moves the sky about 15 degrees. That's a handspan held at arm's length. You'd only notice if you're paying attention. You'd need a reference point, the cross relative to the horizon, or the Milky Way relative to directly overhead. The shift is slow. It's always slow. The Earth turns once every 24 hours. 24 hours is a long time. The sky moves through its full rotation at a pace that feels like stillness, until you check it twice. The emu has moved. When you first lay down, the emu in the sky was positioned one way. Its body was oriented at a certain angle to the horizon. Its dark head was near the cross at a certain height. Now the whole shape has shifted. The slow rotation has carried it to a new position. This is what the sky looks like when you watch it, not a static photograph, not the fixed backdrop of indoor life, but the slow living rotation of the Earth's whole relationship with the universe, happening at the same pace it always has, without interruption. Since before there was anything alive here to notice it, there was a time before anything alive existed on this planet. The Earth turned then too. The sky moved then too. The red light of a different sun rose and set over rock that was not yet red. No one noticed. The noticing had not yet been invented. The Earth didn't need noticing in order to turn. And then, life. And the noticing began. And eventually, here, people on this ground, 65,000 years ago, noticing the sky, watching the emu move, noting when the emu's body was at a certain angle, going to look for eggs, passing the knowledge forward, refining it, testing it against the seasons, correcting it, encoding it more precisely, generation after generation, for 65,000 years. The people who lived on this ground noticed it. They mapped it. They encoded it in story, in ceremony, in the positions of carved and painted marks on stone. The sky was a clock and a calendar and a map and a scripture. They read it by the movement of both the light and the dark. The emu rising means eggs. The emu setting means no eggs. The position of the cross tells direction. The rising of certain stars tells season. The sky above you is not decorative. It is operational. It's being used here, by people watching it from very close to where you're lying now, for longer than any other astronomical tradition on Earth. You look up at the slowly moving sky. You feel the rotation of the Earth beneath you, the faintest sensation, not quite physical, the kind of thing you can only perceive when you're very still, very quiet. The ground beneath you is stable and old. It's carrying you without complaint. The spinning is too slow to feel directly, but if you're still enough, if you've been here long enough, you can feel something, the sense of being on a surface that's moving, the sense of being carried. You are being carried by the Earth, which is being carried by the sun. The sun is being carried by the Milky Way in its own long rotation, the whole galaxy turning slowly. The sun completes one circuit of the galactic center every 225 million years or so, carrying all of us along. You're on a turning world in a turning galaxy. You're being carried without any effort on your part. You can rest. Something has been different. It takes you a moment to identify what it is. There is a particular quality. Some places have it, most places don't. You've probably felt it before, in other contexts. The sense of entering a room, or a building, or a landscape, and feeling that the place is occupied, not by anything you can see, but by something in the quality of the air, the temperature, the way sound behaves. Old buildings sometimes have it, old forests, very old mountains, places where enough time is accumulated. The time itself has become a presence. This place has it. It has it because it's old, because it's been inhabited. The people who inhabited it, they did so for 65,000 years. They didn't simply pass through. They knew it. They named every feature, every waterhole, every rocky outcrop, every stretch of spinifex. They encoded it in story and song. They maintained a relationship with it, specific and detailed and continuous, as any relationship you've ever had with another person, more so actually, because it was maintained across generations, added to and refined, passed forward across 2,000 generations. A place known and loved, maintained and sung and walked across for 65,000 years. It's not the same as a place that's been passed through. It's been shaped by the attention, not visibly, not the way buildings and roads are shaped, not in cleared land, but in some deeper way, in the quality of the air, in the weight of accumulated presence, all the people who've been here, all the knowing that's accumulated. You can feel it. You've been feeling it since you lay down. The boundary is thinning. You know this not as a thought, but as a sensation, a softening at the edges of things, a slight blurring of the line between yourself and the ground beneath you, between your own warmth and the earth's warmth. The separation that normally feels absolute, the sense of being a distinct person with a distinct body in a distinct place, it's becoming slightly less certain, not frightening, not disorienting, just softer, as if the membrane has become permeable, the one that keeps the ordinary world separate from the deeper world. It becomes permeable when you stop pressing against it. The dreaming is always present. It's not a place you travel to. It's a depth you sink into. The sinking happens at certain thresholds, certain places, certain hours, certain states of consciousness. Sleep is one of those thresholds. The deep country under the open sky, far from the noise of the ordinary world. This is another, and you have both at once, the place and the hour, the stillness and the open sky, everything that makes the threshold thinner. Let it thin. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to concentrate or try. You don't need to achieve anything. The thinning is happening on its own. It happens when you stop holding yourself so firmly in the ordinary world, when you let your grip loosen, when the breath slows and the thoughts slow, when the edge between you and everything else becomes softer. Let it thin. The red earth is at the back of your head. Not the cold, firm earth of a yard or park, but ancient, warm, red earth. It's been warm since before there was a continent in this location. The back of your head rests in it. Your weight has pressed a slight hollow into the surface. The earth curves up slightly on each side. It's made a small accommodation for you, a small place. The smell is extraordinary when you're this close to it. It's the specific smell of red Australian earth, iron and age and dry grass, and something that has no name. It's never needed one. It's just what this earth smells like. You're lying on it in the warm night. Your face is turned to the sky. People have been lying on this earth for 65,000 years, smelling this smell. Before the ghost gums were here, before the nightjar existed in its current form, before the creek had its current shape, before the stars were in exactly these positions, the sky shifts over millennia. The precession of the Earth's axis moves the stars in slow circles. The Milky Way is always there, but oriented differently over the centuries. Before all of that, this earth was red. It was warm at night. It smelled of iron and age and dry grass. You are part of that long sequence. People lying here, smelling this smell, looking at this sky. Not the same people, not a continuous bloodline, but a continuous place, the same red earth, holding the same warmth, under the same stars, receiving whomever comes and lies down on it. The earth does not distinguish between them, those who belong by tradition, those who only visit. The warmth is the same, the smell is the same, the weight of a body on this ground is the same. It's always been the same weight. The ground receives it the same way. You are here, you are lying on it. It holds you. You breathe the smell in, you breathe it out. The warmth is in your lungs now. The country is in your lungs. Your breath has mixed with the warm, dark air, the red desert and the eucalyptus and the dry grass. For the length of this breath, the line between you and the country is blurring, very slightly at its edges. That is enough. That is fine. You do not need to dissolve. You only need to soften, slightly, the way you always soften at the edge of sleep. The distinction between what is you and what is around you becomes less urgent. You're no longer required to be upright and functional and separate. Soften. Let the edge between your warmth and the earth's warmth blur. Let the breath continue, slow and easy. You breathe it out. The threshold is very thin now. You can feel it, or rather, you can feel the absence of what you usually feel. The usual sense of your own weight, your own boundaries, the clear distinction between your body and the air around it and the earth beneath it. These have become less insistent. Not gone, but less insistent. The way a sound becomes less insistent when you stop listening for it. The dreaming is not somewhere else. The ancestral beings who shaped this creek and named these stars and walked across this plain, they did not go somewhere. They are here, in the sense that the country is here, in the sense that everything they made and named and moved through is still here. Still the dreaming made visible, still the ongoing presence of the creative force that first moved across this land. There is a concept sometimes translated as song lines, the paths along which the ancestral beings traveled across the country, singing it into existence as they moved. Everything that exists was sung into being along these tracks, the waterways, the hills, the plains, the waterholes, the trees in their specific locations. All of it exists because something moved through here, in the dreaming, and the moving through left a track, and the track is the landscape. The track you are lying near, the dry creek bed, is such a track, not a metaphor for a track. The track itself, the path along which the creative force moved, shaping this waterway, and the waterway is the track, and the track is the dreaming, and the dreaming is here, and you are lying in it. You are lying in a song line, not claimed, not possessed, simply lying in it the way a stone lies in it, the way the ghost gums lie in it, the way the red earth itself lies in it. The song line does not require you to understand it. It's not asking for your recognition. It simply is. The way the warmth of the earth simply is, and you are in it because you're here, and being here is enough. You are lying in that presence, not as an outsider to it. You're not from here. You don't carry this knowledge. You don't have the right or the language to claim any of it. But the earth does not distinguish. The earth receives whoever lies down on it with the same warmth, the same red patience. The sky does not sort its viewers. The stars are above you the same way they're above everyone who has lain on this ground or any other ground tonight. The dreaming is not exclusive. The sleep that comes at the end of every long day is not exclusive. The threshold is not a gate, it's simply a thinning, and the thinning happens to everyone who lies still long enough under the open sky. The nightjar has stopped. In the silence after it, you become aware of the quiet. The crickets have dropped to almost nothing. That deep middle night quiet, even the insects have rested. The frog is gone, or it's too far away to hear. The ghost gums are still. The Milky Way is directly overhead now. The brightest part arches across the sky above you. The center of the galaxy is visible. It's in the widest, most complex part of the band, the center of the galaxy. It is there, directly above you, the most densely starred region of the sky, the bulge at the heart of the Milky Way. Stars are packed most tightly here. The dark dust clouds are thickest. The dark constellations are clearest. The emu's body is here. The dark channels run through this section of sky. Aboriginal astronomers read them as the emu's legs. The whole emu, from head to tail, arches across the dome above you. It's made entirely of the dark. You are at the bottom of a galaxy, looking up at its center. That is the literal, physical fact. The Milky Way is not a thing in the sky. You are inside it. You have always been inside it. The galaxy is the space within which the Earth and the Sun orbit. The whole solar system orbits there. There is no outside to step to. There is only inside, looking across. On a dark night, far from artificial light, with no pollution between you and the stars, what looking across feels like is this: the thick band of light from horizon to horizon, the density of stars you can barely resolve, individual points, the dark shapes in the brightness, the sense of depth. Photographs can capture it, they cannot quite communicate it. Depth is something you feel as much as see. You are very still. You are not trying to be still. You simply are still. The way the trees are still, the way the earth is still, the way the sky is still relative to itself, even though it is moving, a stillness that comes from not needing to be anything other than what you are. You are a person lying on red earth in the dark, breathing. That is enough. At this hour, in this place, it's exactly the right thing to be. The dreaming is what happens when the ordinary world goes quiet enough. The deeper world can be heard then, not with the ears, with whatever it is that receives the kind of information the dreaming carries. The warmth of old earth, the patience of the sky, the dark shapes in the Milky Way, animals moving through a celestial country. It mirrors the country below, the sense that the visible world is not the whole world. Beneath it and behind it and woven through it, there's a dimension of the world. It's accessible only when you are still enough, quiet enough. The night is dark enough. The sky is open enough. You have stopped trying. You have stopped trying. The earth is still carrying you, turning slowly, the same as it always has. The stars are still there, the same ones, the same Milky Way. The red earth is still warm at your back, and the dreaming, it was here before you came. It will be here after you leave. It is here right now. The oldest living relationship between a people and a place. On the face of the earth, the dreaming is here. Let your eyes close, not to shut out the sky. You've had the sky. You've been inside it. You've been carried by it. Let your eyes close now. Carry the sky inside with you, the Milky Way and the Southern Cross. Carry the dark shapes of the animals. They live in the spaces between the stars. Let them be internal now, imprinted, held in the dark behind your closed eyes. The red earth is warm at your back. The air on your face is warm and still. The smell of this country, iron and age, and the sweetness of eucalyptus from the ghost gums, that smell is in your lungs. It will stay there as you breathe. Each breath will bring more of it. Each breath out will slow you down a little more. You are at the threshold. You are in the moment between the ordinary world and the deeper world, the moment between waking and the dreaming. It is not a moment that requires anything of you. You do not step across it. You do not choose it. You simply stop holding yourself back from it. It comes, the way sleep always comes, when you stop holding yourself back from it. Let go of the ordinary world. Let it be here, exactly as it is. The creek and the trees and the stars, the red earth and the small familiar sounds of the desert night. Let your hold on it loosen. The way you loosen your hold on the day's events as sleep comes, the way everything becomes less sharp, less urgent, less yours to manage. The earth is very old. The sky is very old. You are very small and very temporary. You're here now, on this ancient earth, under this ancient sky. That is not a sad thing. It is the right thing. It's the only thing happening tonight, and it is enough. The smallness is not humiliation. It is perspective. Perspective can be a great relief. To be small on this ancient country is to be released from a certain kind of pressure, the pressure of mattering too much, of being the center of everything, of carrying the weight of the world on a body not designed for that weight. To be small here, in the dark, on the warm red earth, with the Milky Way overhead, that is to be exactly the right size, animal-sized, breath-sized, the size of one person on one night, in one small place, in the vast old country. You are here, and you're breathing. The dreaming is here, and the stars are here. The red earth is warm and patient. It's held every person who has lain on it with exactly this steadiness, this same warmth, this same ancient quality of receiving whatever comes, holding it while it needs to be held, releasing it when it's ready to go. You can stay as long as you need. You can sleep as long as you need. The earth will be here. The stars will be here. The ghost gums will be here, their white trunks floating in the dark above the red ground. The creek will be dry, and then wet, and then dry again. It's been that way for longer than anyone can measure. It will be that way longer than anyone can imagine. The Rainbow Serpent's track will be here, the waterway that is the serpent that is the waterway, present in the creek whether it's full or empty. The dreaming does not end. The dreaming was not a beginning. It's not moving toward an ending. It simply is, always was, always is. The underlying presence that the visible world makes visible. The ancestral beings are not waiting for anything. The country is not building toward anything. The sky is not moving toward any destination. The whole thing simply turns and continues. The warmth rises from the red earth into the dark air. The stars move their ancient arc. The emu in the sky shifts its angle. None of it asks anything of you at all. Nothing is asking anything of you. Not the earth beneath you. Not the sky above you. Not the ghost gums. Not the dry creek. Not the warmth in the red stone. Not the nightjar in the dark. Nothing is asking, only receiving. Sleep enters you now, the way warmth entered you, slowly, from outside, moving in. Not dramatic, not a crossing, just a deepening. The ordinary world becoming the background, the depth becoming the foreground. The threshold behind you now, the dreaming ahead, both of them the same place. The same warm red earth, under the same turning sky, the same place, always the same place. You did not go anywhere. You only went deeper into where you already were. The dreaming received you. The earth holds you. The stars wheel, and you are sleeping. Sleep. The earth holds you. The sky turns above you. The ancestral country is all around you, in the creek bed, in the ghost gums, in the dark shapes between the stars, in the warmth of the red ground at your back. You have not gone anywhere. You have gone deeper into where you already are. The dreaming is not a place you visit. It is the depth of the country. You are in the country. You are sleeping. The country receives your sleep the same way it receives rain, quietly, without drama, simply letting you in. The nightjar, somewhere, begins again. A single churring call in the dark, and then it stops. The stars wheel, the red earth breathes, the ghost gums stand in the dark. Their white trunks are very still, their roots go down into the water that is always there, deep below the dry surface. The water that is always there, even when no surface water is visible. The permanent water, the deep water, the water that the Rainbow Serpent carries through the country in its eternal movement through the underground. The water that is the dreaming, expressed as moisture in the ancient rock. The ghost gums know where the water is. They have always known where the water is. You are sleeping now. The country knows you are here. The dreaming receives you. It has always received whoever comes with open hands and an open heart. Whoever comes with the willingness to be small on the face of something very old,